Hello students, today we start new topic of open channel flow, gradually varied flow. This is the part 2 of applied fluid mechanics of open channel flow chapter. Gradually varied flow. If the depth of flow in a channel changes gradually over along length of the channel, the flow is said to be gradually varied flow and is denoted by GVF. It is the short form of the gradually varied flow. A equation of gradually varied flow. Before deriving an equation for gradually varied flow, the following assumptions are made. First one is the bed slope of the channel is small, the flow is steady, and hence discharge Q is constant. Third one is the accelerative effect is negligible and hence hydrostatic pressure distribution prevails over channel cross section. Fourth one is the energy correction factor alpha is unity. Fifth one, the roughness coefficient is constant for the length of the channel and it does not depend on the depth of flow. Sixth, the formula such as Chase's formula, Manning's formula, which are applicable to the uniform flow, are also applicable to the gradually varied flow for determining the slope of energy line. And seventh, the channel is prismatic. Consider a rectangular channel having gradually varied flow as shown in figure. The depth of flow is gradually decreasing in the direction of flow. Let Z is the height of bottom of channel above datum, H is the depth of flow, V is the mean velocity of flow, IB is the slope of the channel bed, IE is the slope of the energy line, B is the width of channel, and capital Q is the discharge through the channel. Here the figure of equation of gradually varied flow. Z is the datum height, H is the depth of flow, and V square upon 2G is the kinetic energy. The energy equation at any section is given by Bernoulli's equation. E is equal to Z plus H plus V square upon 2G. Differentiating this equation with respect to X means the length of the channel, where X is the measured along the bottom of the channel in the direction of flow, we get d by dx is equal to dz by dx plus dh by dx plus d by dx v square by 2g. Equation small 2i. Now d by dx of v square upon 2g. Here q is equal to a into v, so we use v square is equal to q square upon a square, q square upon a square into 2g, d by dx of q square upon a square into 2g is equal to d by dx q square. Now the area of the rectangular channel is b into h, so a square is equal to b square into s square. Putting this equation, d by dx is equal to q square upon b square s square into 2g. Again simplified that the equation q square upon b square into 2g d by dx 1 upon s square is equal to q square upon b square into 2g. Here the equation are in form of h, q square, b and g. Here no x variable, so differentiating this equation d by dh 1 upon h square and it is dh by dx form. q square upon b square into 2g. Now the differentiating of 1 upon h square is give the minus 2 upon h cube into dh by dx is equal to minus 2q square upon b square into 2gh cube dh by dx is equal to minus q square b square h square into gh dh by dx. Again simplified, the equation is equal to v square minus gh into dh by dx. Substituting this value of d by dx, v square upon 2g in equation 2, d upon dx is equal to dz by dx plus dh by dx minus v square upon gh into dh by dx. dz by dx plus dh by dx is common and in bracket 1 minus v square upon gh. Equation small I. Here d by dx is the slope of the energy line. It is also known as the IE. Here negative sign is taken. With the increase of x, the value of E and Z are decreased. So the value of IE and IB is negative. dz by dx is slope of the bed of the channel minus IB. Substituting the value of d by dx and dz by dx in equation 3I, we get minus IE is equal to minus IB plus dh by dx in bracket 1 minus v square upon gh. Again simplified it, IB minus I is equal to dh upon dx 1 minus v square upon gh in bracket. dh by dx is equal to IB minus IE upon 1 minus v square upon gh. Equation number 8. dh by dx is equal to IB minus IE upon 1 plus Fe square is equal to slope of the free water surface. This is the equation of slope of free water surface. As h is the depth of flow and x is the distance measured along the bottom of the channel, hence dh by dx represent the variation of water depth along the bottom of the channel. Thus, when dh upon dx is equal to 0, h is constant or depth of water above the bottom of the channel is constant. It means that free surface of water is parallel to the bed of the channel. Second condition is when dh by dx is greater than 0 or it is positive, it means the depth of water increases in the direction of flow. The profile of the water so obtained is called backwater curve. When third condition is when dh upon dx is less than 0 or it is negative, it means the depth of water decreases in the direction of flow, the profile of water so obtained is called drop-down curve. Here, number 1, backwater curve and afflux. Backwater curve. Consider the flow of water over a dam as shown in figure. On the upstream side of the dam, the depth of water will be rising. If there had not been any obstruction such as dam in the path of flow of water in the channel, the depth of water would have been constant as shown by dotted line parallel to the bed of the channel in figure 4. Here the figure 4, backwater curve and afflux. Due to obstruction, the water level rises and it has maximum depth from the bed of at some section. Let H1 is the depth of water at the point where the water start rising up, and H2 maximum height of rising water from bed. H2 minus H1 is the afflux, increasing the height of water. Thus, afflux is defined as the maximum increase in water level due to the obstruction in the path of flow of water. The profile of the rising water on the upstream side of the dam is called backwater curve. The distance along the bed of the channel between the sections where water starts rising to section where water is having maximum height is known as length of backwater curve. Second one, expression for the length of backwater flow. Consider the flow of water through a channel in which depth of water is rising as shown in figure 5. Let the two sections 1-1 and 2-2 are at such a distance that the distance between them represent the length of backwater curve. Let H1 is the depth of flow at section 1-1 and V1 is the velocity at section 1-1. H2 is the depth of flow at section 2-2 and V2 is the velocity of flow at section 2-2. IB is the bed slope and I is the energy line slope and L is the length of backwater curve. Applying the Bernoulli equation at section 1-1 and 2-2, Z1 plus H1 plus V square V1 square upon 2G. In this figure, Z1 plus H1 plus V1 square upon 2G is equal to Z2 plus H2 plus V2 square upon 2G plus HL, where HL is the loss of energy due to friction, is given by IE into L. This is the figure when Z1 plus H1 plus V1 square upon 2G for the section 1-1 and Z2 plus H2 plus V2 square upon 2G plus HL for section 2-2. Also taking datum line passing through the bed of the channel at section 2-2 so that Z2 becomes 0, then Z2 is equal to 0. Now the equation becomes Z1 plus H1 plus V1 square upon 2G is equal to H2 plus V2 square upon 2G plus IE into L. From figure here, Z1 is equal to IB into L. L is the length of backwater curve. Now IB into L plus H1 plus V1 square upon 2G is equal to plus Now go further. IB into L minus IE into L is equal to H2 plus V2 square upon 2G minus H1 plus V1 square upon 2G. Here H2 plus V2 square upon 2G is equal to E2 and H1 plus V1 square upon 2G is equal to E1. IB minus IE into L is equal to E2 minus E1, where E2 is equal to H. Now the length of backwater is E2 minus E1 upon IB minus IE, equation number 11. Here equation number 11 is used to calculate the length of backwater curve, and the value of IE is the slope of energy line, is calculated either by Manning's formula or by Chezy's formula. The mean values of velocity, depth of flow, hydraulic mean depth are used between section 11 and 22 for calculating the value of slope of energy line.